Hello everyone, I'm Katie, I'm the Introverted Reader, and we're trying a different angle today. You are currently stacked on a couple of books, so you have a closer view of my bookshelves. Just trying out some different angles here, guys. We will work this out. But I just thought it was better than just me sitting at my desk, so just, y'all can see my bookshelves, that thing that booktubers do. They just sit in front of their bookshelves, right? Anyway, trying a different angle. Let me know if you like it. But I thought today I would show you my TBR for the Introverted Reader readathon. I realize it's not until August, but I had these books picked out anyway, so I thought that I would just show you them now here today. So let's get started. So the first challenge is to there's 7 challenges, and the first challenge is to read a book that you put off for just way too long. And honestly, this could be the same for like a lot of books that are on these 2 shelves behind me. So there's actually a lot, but actually the one I picked out is one that was really popular last year, and I really wanted to read it last year, but I never got around to it, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Everyone was talking about this book last year, and I bought it with the intention of reading it because everyone said it was so good, and I was just like, you know what, I'll get to it, but I never did, and it's just been sitting sadly on my shelf for a couple of months now. But I'm finally going to be reading it in August for the readathon, so yay. Hopefully I can get this done. It's basically inspired by West African mythology, so it's all about like tribes and like magic and stuff. I'm not overly sure what the like full premise is about, but you know what, it's better to just go into things, quite blind, am I right? The second challenge is to read a classic that you originally did not like, and that for me was Dracula. I remember we picked it for a book club pick, I think like last year in like October or something, and I remember I listened to the audiobook for it, and I don't know, there was just something about it. It didn't click with me. But I figured, why not give it another chance? Because I've been kind of feeling like giving it another chance these past couple of weeks. So I thought, hey, why not? I'm just going to read it on my Kindle. That's why I'm holding it. I'm just going to read it on here, because I think maybe my problem was the audiobook. Not that there was anything wrong, I just kept like zoning out a lot of times. So we'll try just reading it with the Kindle this time, and hopefully I will enjoy the count a lot more than the first time. The third challenge is to read a graphic novel or a manga or a comic book or just whatever you want. And I decided to go with Death Note Volume 1 and 2 in these gorgeous black edition. Oh my goodness. I actually planned on reading this for the manga challenge that I did back in March. I made a video about the manga that I wanted to read during those 2 weeks, and this was one of them, but I never got around to actually reading this one, so I thought, why not do it now? Death Note is basically about this student called Light Yagami, and he's really smart. He has a lot of friends, he's popular, but he's just like bored with life. And there's one day when he finds this mysterious notebook on the ground, and he picks it up, doesn't think anything of it, takes it home, and then this Shishigami, this death god, shows up in his bedroom and says that is a death note. And basically what it is, if you write a person's name in there, that person will die. Like if you just write their name, they'll die of a heart attack, but if you can write as well how they will die as well. And he some of his own inner demons start to come out, and it's very dark, very gritty. I watched the anime, I think a year or so ago now, and it's so gripping and just so intense. But I really want to read the manga as well. So we have this, so that's 3 technically, because that black edition is a bind up of 2 volumes. Challenge number 4 is to just read an old favourite, you know, just for old time's sake. And I had a few. I thought really, really long and hard about what favourite I wanted to read for this challenge. And to be honest, after all of these, now Children of Blood and Bone, Dracula, Death Note, these are quite, you know, like heavy sort of stories, especially Dracula and Death Note, you know, very dark and very gritty. So I definitely think I'll want a break. So the favourite that I picked out that I'm going to read, and I'm so excited, is Noah Can't Even by Simon James Green. I adore this book so much. I read it for the first time last year, and it's hilarious. It's heartwarming, it's witty, it's wonderful, it's pure, and just everything that is good in this world. And oh my goodness, it's just amazing. It's basically about this boy called Noah, and he lives with a single mom who doesn't really pay that much attention to him. His dad left years ago, and his mom doesn't pay attention to him. She does this like Beyonce tribute act, and you know, he only really has one friend in school called Harry. And, you know, him and Harry go to a party one night. They're invited to this party by this popular girl. And, you know, Noah kind of has a crush on this girl, and he's hoping maybe this party he can, you know, tell her about his feelings or like make a move or whatever. But then that night, Noah and Harry end up kissing. And then it's just sort of Noah going on this journey, you know, trying to figure out who he is as a person and his feelings for Harry, and, you know, like Harry coming out as well. And it's so sweet, and it's so funny. Like, it's set in this tiny, tiny little English town, you know, where everybody knows each other, everybody knows each other's business, you know, like you can't really turn a corner, you know, without someone coming up to you and wanting to know your business. So yeah, this is a favourite that I will be rereading. I have a review of this from the first time I read it on my channel, so if you want to watch that and watch me gush over this book, you can. But I'm going to be reading this, you know, as a reread down memory lane. The next one, challenge number 5, is to read a book with an animal either on the cover or have the animal be like a character within the story. And I chose Dreamwalker by JD Oswald. And this one has a dragon here on the cover, and there is a character of a dragon within the story. I'm guessing that we're going to be reading from his point of view. It's a fantasy story. In a small village miles from the great cities of the Twin Kingdoms, a young boy called Errol tries to find his way in the world. He's an outsider, he looks different from other children, and has never known his father. No one, not even himself, has any knowledge of his true lineage. Deep in the forest, Benfro, the young male dragon, begins his training in the subtle arts. Like his mother, Morgrim the Green, he is destined to be a great mage. No one could imagine that the future of all life in the Twin Kingdoms rests in the hands of these two unlikely heroes. So we'll be reading from this boy and from the dragon's point of view as well, which I'm really excited about. This looks like a really fun, really fun high fantasy book to read, and it's a beautiful cover as well, and it's a floppy paperback. We love floppy paperbacks in this house. The next one, challenge number 6, is to read a book with your least favourite colours on the cover. Now, I do want to say, obviously, you know, you can pick a book that you haven't read yet, but with any of these challenges, if you have a book that you've already read that fits the challenge, then go right ahead and reread it, live your best life. But the one I picked for this was Slated by Teri. Interesting name. It's not so much, well, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not overly a fan of the colour scheme on here. It does look very dark and gritty, which I guess is the point. And I don't personally over like faces like this just on the cover. I don't really like that, kind of puts me off. But this is a story about a girl who wakes up and her memory has basically been wiped completely. She's been slated, and basically the people that wake her up, the government, they tell her that she's a terrorist, that she committed a terrible crime, and that they will allow her to go back and live in normal society if she just promises, you know, don't do that again, you know, be good. as long as she plays, you know, by their rules. But like she still has like, she starts to hear like the whispers of like her previous life in her head, and like memories come back and stuff. So yeah, so this should be interesting. I think this is like the first in a trilogy. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, despite the not so nice cover, I am excited to read this. And the very last challenge, challenge number 7, is to read a book with diverse representation. So that could be LGBTQ plus, disability rep. Maybe the main character is a person of color, or it's set in a place that is maybe not where you live. You know, not in America, or not in Britain. Not in America or Canada, or not in Britain, you know, maybe somewhere in Europe or something like that. So just basically, the more diverse, the better. But for me, although obviously Noah could fit this challenge as well, but I found this one and I thought, you know what, I'll fit this one in for the diversity rep, and it's Jack of Hearts by L.C. Rosen, Jack of Hearts and Other Parts. And it's basically, do you know what, reading the premise, it kind of sounds like a darker, more twisted version of Simon Versus, because Jack, although apart from Simon, it seems that Jack is out and proud, he's gay, he doesn't, you know, really care that much because, you know, he goes to parties, you know, and everyone talks about his sex life in school and stuff like that. And then after Jack starts writing an online sex advice column, the mysterious love letters he's been receiving take a turn for the creepy. Jack's secret admirer loves him, but not his unashamedly queer lifestyle. As the pressure mounts, Jack must unmask his stalker before their obsession becomes genuinely dangerous. So yeah, starts receiving messages from this person, and they're basically trying to force Jack to be, you know, just into a very uncomfortable place. So like I said, a darker, more twisted version probably of Simon Versus, but I shall look forward to reading this. So that is my TBR for the Introverted Reader Readathon. These are all the books. Oh, here, I'll turn them around. These are all the books that I'll hopefully get to read. Obviously, you know, you pick whatever books that you like. You know, if you have a certain book that could fit 2 challenges, then you go for it. If you want to just reread a bunch of your faves, you go for it. There's no pressure. I have a full video explaining dates and such, and all of the different challenges on my channel. That was one of my previous videos, so please go and watch that if you're interested. Let me know down below what books you're going to be reading for the Introverted Reader Readathon. Or if you're planning on taking part. If there's any of these books that you saw and you're like, oh, I want to read that one too, and you want a buddy read, let me know. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Please subscribe to the channel, it would really mean a lot. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.